forgot to give a quick shout out to my guy Jared. Probably one of the better mechanics around here. So if you're in the Kansas City area and you need to have your car worked on, he's the guy to go to. He was instrumental in getting this new engine in, and helped me out today with the oil change. So it turns out, I don't need help at my dad right now. So, all right. It's gonna be a while until I get to where I need to go next. So we might as well talk whilst driving again. So talk a little. I guess we could talk a little bit about football, because it is football season. I think it's about halfway through the NFL season right now. If you're a regular listener to the podcast, I probably can't bring myself to really watch the NFL anymore. Especially since after the 2015 season. Afterward, well, I'm sorry, but St. Louis is a great football town. They are proving that with the UFL, with the Battlehawks. And that would not have been possible had Stan Kroenke not given us a giant middle finger, and broken the NFL's relocation rules as well. And that's the crux of what I want to talk about. St. Louis is a great sports town, and a great football town that gets unfairly tagged as just a baseball town. That was the excuse that the NFL gave to justify screwing St. Louis out of a team. As far as I'm concerned, that team, the entire concept of LA Rams died in the 90s when they moved to St. Louis in the first place. LA has now had a decade to demonstrate that they are not a football town, never have been. Case in point, just look at when the Whiners played them in that stadium that should have never been built, that shall remain nameless. Is entirely red. Last time I checked, Rams colors are blue and gold, not red. That's Whiner colors. So, who's kidding who, Stan? Could a stadium have been built in LA? Absolutely. The stadium in Vegas could have been built in LA. I would still argue should have been built in LA. That would have been the Carson site. And remember, that committee that looked over those relocation plans said 5-1 should be Carson for the Chargers and the Raiders, because I do think those two teams were going to move regardless of what happened with St. Louis. I'm sorry, but good luck trying to get stadium financing in the state of California. St. Louis did have a plan to beat Cockbot Blitz. They had a plan to keep the Rams in St. Louis, and the NFL blatantly ignored it, and wound up costing the NFL $790 million, which to this day the St. Louis authorities are still trying to figure out how to properly use it. And no, that's fine. That's fine. They earned it, and they should do it however they see fit. And if it takes time to do so, so be it. But don't for a second think that the Rams are there legitimately, because it all comes down to how do the owners in question act in accordance with the NFL's own relocation rules. And you have to be an idiot to think that Stan did that, because he did not. He did not. That was adjudicated in court that he didn't. All right. The courts said there has to be good faith effort between the city and the team to negotiate a stadium to before they can even consider moving, and that did not happen. It's $790 million in judgment, and just to keep it from going to trial. San Diego, well, A, the Chargers were born in LA. B, Dean Spanos actually did try his darndest to keep the Chargers in San Diego, but unfortunately the last efforts to do so, he went to a public vote, didn't even get half the vote. And Oakland, they've been doing nothing. And Oakland has now lost all of their teams. So this was the first baseball season in a while that there were no Oakland A's. They were just the A's, and they were playing in Sacramento. Sacramento has a pretty nasty habit of taking KC teams. Although the A's were KC by way of Oakland, but still, not so much excited about the NFL, and I'm sorry, the Chiefs lost their opportunity to bring me in as a fan when Clark Hunt voted against the Carson plan. And I know what some of you are going to think. Well, he was okay with the Chargers alone moving to LA. There was no plan for the Chargers to move to LA alone. They were always going to be paired with someone. The logical parent would have been the Raiders. I don't care if they are in the same division. Everything. Neither team was going to be staying in San Diego or Oakland, respectfully. So that should have been the way to go. And if you had to realign because of it to get the teams out of the same division, okay, that I would have been okay with that too. But Clark Hunt basically gave St. Louis one of these. And so, yeah, you'll never see me wearing Chiefs shit as a result. Once again, happy for Kelsey and Taylor, but you will never get me to wear red. All right, you kind of blew it there, pal. So, I think they do one of these during this month. Just give my top moments from New Heights, because I do listen to that podcast, and I do enjoy listening to it. And of course, the top moment has to be my little contribution to the podcasts, telling them about that sandwich. All right. So yeah. Now, in addition to all that, some of you may know I do a companion a second podcast within the RSS feed of Uncalled For. It's called Unofficial Fan Lounge. See what they did there, UFL. And it's about the UFL, the United Football League, which is the home to the St. Louis Battlehawks. Best attended team in the United Football League. For those of you living under a rock, the UFL is about to go into year 3 as presently constituted. Of course, they are a merger between the most recent version of the USFL, which brought back a bunch of USFL from the 80s names like Birmingham Stallions and Michigan Panthers, and the most recent version of the XFL, your Battlehawks, your DC Defenders, and all that. They brought in the league brought in a new owner. The league owns all the teams now, and they brought in a new owner, and he to say he shook things up the last couple of months would be an understatement. So we have 3 teams that have been moved. So Memphis gone. I'm sorry, you can't keep a team on just 4K under 4K average attendance. So Memphis Showboat's gone. Michigan Panthers temporarily gone. They could be back. Should Detroit City get their stadium affairs in order? Because let's face it, Ford Field, they weren't even remotely close to selling out that place. Ford Field, of course, the home of the Detroit Lions in the NFL, and San Antonio Broma is also gone. Same thing as Michigan, but they do have a soccer stadium in San Antonio, but it's too small for what this new owner is looking for. And I've seen a lot of people say, well, what about this stadium that's a high school stadium? Well, I'm pretty sure there are rules against high school stadiums serving alcohol and some other logistical things. And I know there are a shitload of almost college grade high school stadiums throughout the state of Texas. But again, it's high school. So those 3 teams out. In their place, we have the Columbus Aviators. Interesting name. Not too keen on the logo. Then we have the Louisville Kings. Louisville has no major pro teams to it, and do we really need another horse-themed team in this league? You already have the Birmingham Stallions, so do we need another horse team? Well, I guess the NFL has 2. Alright, and then you have the Orlando Storm. So they didn't even bring back the XFL name, the Guardians. They came up with something kind of, sort of new. Kind of has some people thinking the Tampa Bay Storm in the Arena League. When they were still around. But it'll be interesting to see those 3 teams playing soccer stadiums announced. So the only UFL team that's still playing in an NFL quality stadium is the Battlehawks, and that's because we're the only team that's expanded that we can adequately sell a NFL stadium. Even one that the league and the previous owner kind of shit on. Then the other two Texas teams, the Roughnecks, are now the Gamblers, so they're going back to the USFL name with a far superior logo. This time I'm never crazy about the original Gambler logo. And then you got the Renegades getting out of the prison. Sorry, Arlington, if you don't want me making that joke, don't build a ballpark that more closely resembles a maximum security penitentiary. Simple as that. And they changed the name back to Dallas Renegades. Moving to the MLS stadium. Not even in Dallas, it's in Frisco. And the other three teams, Stallions, Defenders, Battlehawks, they're all staying put. So yeah, that's cool. And those happen to be the three teams I think have the strongest fan cultures of the UFL. You have us, the Battlehawks, with keep sending those attendance records, averaging 30K a game, breaking a spring attendance record at over 40K. Cause the law and fuck Rocky is basically our culture. DC, their fan culture is they set the example for playing in soccer stadiums, and of course they got the Bear Snake, which I still maintain is the coolest fan tradition in the entire league. And of course, with Birmingham, you have everyone taking their shirts off and thinking they're Jason Kelsey in Buffalo, and all that. And it doesn't hurt that Birmingham and DC have both won the UFL championship. Birmingham in 24, DC in 25, and hopefully the Battlehawks win in 26. And another thing I think is really cool about this coming year is that they're getting rid of the conference designation, so there's not going to be a USFL conference and an XFL conference. It's just a single table league with all 8 teams, and I think that's cool and everything, but as a fan of the Premier League, which also uses the single table, what you really should be doing is, instead of just the 10 games that you're planning, because you can't play home and away with 8 teams on a 10-game schedule, you need to expand the season to 14, so that you can guarantee home and away with every team. So I'm really excited about that. UFL season doesn't start until late March, so at least they're staying consistent there in late March. Spring football ain't nothing like it. But yeah, once again, just difficult following the NFL. I know I've said I've adopted the Arizona Cardinals as my post-Rams team because Michael Bidwell voted against the move. Voted against the final plan, to which I still give him a ton of credit, honestly. But we're kind of sucking right now. The Cardinals are. And I'm quite impressed with how the Colts have been under new ownership. For those who haven't been paying attention, Jim Irsay passed away, and his daughters now run the team. And one of them, Carly, has been quite hands-on as an owner. to the point that she's on the sidelines every game wearing the headsets and taking notes and everything. And I wish more owners were like that too. And the Colts, I'll be 100% honest here. The Colts were always my number 2 team as a Ram fan, and now that Jim Irsay is passed, I could see a scenario where they could be my number 2 team again. And I'm not going to talk much about college football because I don't really follow college football all that much, except that Colorado's stinking up the joint this year. And I have no idea how Notre Dame or Florida State's are doing right now. But, yeah. Alright. I think we'll end this particular post here. That's all I really wanted to talk about football-wise. And if anyone wants to argue with me about the merits of having a team in St. Louis or that particular team coming back to Alec just because, they've been around for 50 plus years. Have you looked at the attendance, assholes? That is all. So, yeah, until next post.